Today is February 13, 2026. It is exactly 4 a.m. This is my third recording. So this list that I have, it's been piling up. Okay, it's getting long. So I want to get it out the way. And there's so much more. There's things about Michael Jackson. That'll be for another video. But let's get some of these issues, those topics recorded, so we have it for future reference, if I do remember when I talk about them. Okay, first tweet. This has to do with US politics. Yeah. Okay, breaking. The Trump DOJ failed to get a grand jury indictment for the lawmakers who recorded a video telling the military not to obey illegal orders. What a loser Trump is. Oh, and don't follow illegal orders. Let's listen to this.
From right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army.
Our Navy.
the Air Force,
Your vigilance is critical.
From right here at home.
Our laws are...
I thought I'd share that with you because when I first saw it, I thought it was an AI because the way the people's face sort of appear on that, but it's legit. Trump is using our military, anything with the law to carry out his thing. I'm just wondering what happened once he leaves office, because the Supreme Court give him immunity. If how that gonna work out, because he has done so many illegal things. Okay, so that's that. So much work to do in the United States. So much work. Alright, so there's all of that. You could pause and read. Unbelievable. Let's go to the next tweet. Now this is the UK. Alright, it appears the royal family has lost the DailyMail for now. Okay. The Labour Party and the royal family seem more interested in saving their own bacon than doing right by Epstein's victims. Sour vine. What is that? Curious, since it's run by the firm. He pays no tax in the UK on his £1 billion fortune. Salvine may have once valued royal access, but let's be honest, nothing says career opportunity like 3 million freshly released Epstein documents and videos. Why rely on palace whispers when you've got a global scandal buffet laid out in front of you? Access is nice, viral exposure are nicer. I don't trust them. They are still in trial for hacking. You know, I haven't come across anything about the lawsuit that's going on. They probably also wants to lower the noise about the lawsuit that Harry's doing and the others. The last lawsuit that Harry is pursuing. I didn't want to go in it. They may be trying to show that they are not about attacking Harry, but it's not going to work. Or maybe they want an exclusive and the palace isn't talking. I don't trust the sudden change. Alright, let's leave that alone. Oh my God, breaking just in. February 11th, that's when it was. Prince William's Earthshot Prize charity has been reported to the UK's charity watchdog following fresh Epstein file revelation. Is that true? This is the first time I'm seeing it. Let's see here. Let me pause. Let me add this to the list. Okay, just in. Prince William's Earthshot Prize charity has been reported to the UK's charity watchdog following fresh Epstein files revelation. You know what I'm thinking? What they did to Santa Bali. What they did to Santa Bali. This is the only thing I think he created on his own. And now, okay, it has emerged that Emirati billionaire Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the chairman and chief executive of DP World, has been implicated in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. But when you think about it, nothing is going to be done. Nothing is going to be done. They reported it, but nothing is going to be done. In April 2009, while he was still serving his 18-month sentence in a Palm Beach jail but allowed work release, Epstein emailed Sulayem, quote, "Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video," end quote. DP World is a funded partner of Earthshot and has donated at least £1 million to the charity. Oh, here's Sultan Ahmed talking with child sex trafficker Epstein about giving a tour to Prince William at their port in London. Okay. Yesterday I received Prince at our London getaway. Part 1 showed him around the facility, and today I attend a function with him at Buckingham Palace, sent from iPhone. That's Jeffrey. You know what that remind me as well? When Charles sent one of those Middle Eastern to donate to Santa Bali, and then when it's time to give the money to Santa Bali, and the guy told Harry to come and dine with him. They wanted a picture, some sort of connection with Harry, so when something like this popped up, they could have an image that said, oh, look at Harry with this person. Harry was like, nope, I'm not coming because this is not we talk about. That was not the agreement. Oh my Lord, these people, Charles is evil. Next tweet, let's leave that alone. Next one. Alright, so this is Pierse Morgan. All of a sudden, he feels better. Remember when the lawsuit first came out this year? The last lawsuit Harry is pursuing. And is it the day before or the day after or the same day when the lawsuit started? He claimed he had, what was it? Some sort of a surgery. He was in a hospital for something. He won't be available for a certain amount of days. Now all of a sudden he's okay. Oh my God. Alright, breaking. Rep Nancy Mace just told Pierse Morgan that she has seen the unredacted Epstein files. They are shocking. Mace says the list includes Republicans and Democrats. This is why things is not being done. Alright, they all are on the same page. At least one or two of them have a little bit sensible to do the right thing, but technically when it comes to that, with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, they all do their pact. They don't want to do the right thing. Alright, Mace says the list includes Republicans and Democrats. Bill Clinton is a Democrat, including current and former prime ministers and presidents. There's Bill Clinton and Trump. We need answers now. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel must resign. I told you, once it comes to the United States and the people knows about what they're doing to children, it's game over. They're not gonna let it go. Even MAGA's Trump people are turning against him. Let's continue.
You would be shocked, Pierce, that some of the names that I have seen that came across the DOJ in emails that the DOJ is protecting. And we're talking about people on both sides of the aisle. We're talking about famous people, rich people, people in power, prime ministers, former presidents, etc., media personalities that are named in these files. And that's why I say this is going to go down as the greatest cover-up, one of the greatest cover-ups in American history. You would be shocked.
All right, so that pretty much, when I should look at the screen, the list, way before the Epstein file come out, when certain topic come up, why things is not being done, certain, whatever the topic I was talking about in respective videos, and I'll bring the Maxwell list. It's people of all walks of life. They try to get them because when it's time for whoever is controlling either the Russian or the Middle East people want something to be done, they have a documentation of those people in power with Epstein, with whatever it is that they caught them with. That blueprint that Putin did, okay, with that, what do you call them, prosecutor in Russia trying to get Boris Yeltsin, whether or not he did sleep with the person, but that blueprint he started, okay, he kept it. The only thing I will have to say is the UK have been doing this type of thing, doing things with children. You could go way back. There's things that happen in Canada. They try to say it's not true. What is it, when Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth went somewhere in Canada to visit, some kids were missing from school and all of that. They say it's not true, all of that. So the UK, the system, the royal family have been doing this for a very long time. What Russia did, now that I'm seeing it from a different lens, is just documented them. Put those things in a silver platter for them. At the same time, Russia is trying to, have an interest of different things. So this is why they get all walks of life, specifically people in power, decision makers. So he just documented, and then now we're seeing the documentation of those things. All right, I'm surprised Pierse Morgan's name is not on it. Let me pause and look. Well, I guess I was wrong. I asked, is Pierse Morgan in the Epstein file? Yes, Pierse Morgan's name appeared in the document related to the Jeffrey Epstein, with report indicating his name is mentioned 9 times. However, there is no suggestion in the file of a friendship, improper association, or any misconduct on his part. Based on the recent release of the documents in February 2026, mentioned Pierse Morgan is among the British celebrities and personalities named in the file. We're looking at him here. He looks all serious, like he's not part of it. I don't really try too hard with all the release. I take a peek here and there, but I'm not surprised by any of these things. Alright, so there's all of that. Let me stick to my list because it's a lot. Next one. I didn't think he was on it, but he is. There's too many people not making noise about it. Next one. Alright, let me pause. Alright, this one I shared it on my community board as a screenshot. Brutal. The British Parliament votes massively against an investigation into child rape scandals. Alright, what do you think? They have their people in all bases. Maybe many of them are part of it. It's up to the people. The people. Alright, the UK Parliament blocks the inquiry into child rape scandals, citing political sensitivities. In the United Kingdom, the ruling Labour Party voted to stop the launch of a proposed investigation into the rape of British children, with MPs rejecting the motion by 364 votes to 111. I would like to know who are those 364. Are they all men? Let me look. Alright, I copied some stuff, so it's kind of weird question. Are the 364 MP votes rejecting the motion by Parliament, the ruling Labour Party voted to stop the launch of a proposed investigation into the rape of British children, or men? I copied from the question, from the tweet. Let's see. All men. Let's see. Are there any women? On January 8, 2025, a UK House of Commons amended calling for a new national inquiry into grooming gangs child sexual exploitation was defeated by a vote of 364 to 111. The 364 votes against the amendment were predominantly from the ruling Labour Party, who claimed the move was a political tactic by the Conservative to kill the... I'm telling you, they always come with some crazy reasons. The Border Children Well-Being and School Bill, rather than a genuine attempt to investigate the abuse. But I wanted to know if they were men. So I cut some stuff out from the question. The answer is no. The question is, are the 364 MP votes rejecting the motion by Parliament, the ruling Labour Party, were men? The answer is no. The 364 MPs who voted to reject the Conservative amendment regarding a new national inquiry into grooming gangs in January 820 were not all men. Okay, so that's the answer. But when did this happen? It's saying January, but we are in February. When did this post? February 11th. But anyway, let's continue. I stop here. Opponent of the inquiry argued that reopening the issue risks damaging the image of Muslim communities. What the hell? And clashing with prevailing left-wing political priorities. As expected, Labour MPs framed the proposed investigation as fueling Islamophobia. All of a sudden they care about that? An argument that ultimately carried a vote. A majority of Britain said the decision highlights a profound moral failure, that concern about image and ideology were placed above justice for the victims and accountability for the perpetrators. For many, the vote has intensified accusation that political elites are unwilling to confront crimes linked to migration policy when doing so conflicts with their ideological narratives, even when the victims are children. All right, let's listen to that. All right, let me read these and then I'll look at the thing. All right. I'd like to know what sex, gender the people who vote. See, I didn't even know this question was that. That's why I went to Google it. So it's mixed. I'd like to know what sex, gender the people who voted no are, just out of curiosity. Subnormal who gave a F anyway. It pisses me off. You're effing retard. Okay, so they're arguing. Forget that. But if you look in the United States, that woman, Pam Bondi, who's covering up for Trump, these people have no heart. They don't care. This is why a lot of African Americans are saying some of the issues we are facing are white women are part of the problem as well. When it's time to vote, you literally see the thing happening in your household, but they still vote for the things that are abusing them. So let's listen. 1 minute and 1 second.
The eyes to the right, 111. The nose to the left, 364. The eyes to the right were 111, the nose to the left 364, so the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock.
Couple things. She reminds me, she looked like, oh, okay, since we are here, I'm looking at all these men, they probably were like, oh my God, I hope they don't do the investigation. They probably all part of it. The other thing as well, that lady, doesn't she look like Eugenie? She reminds me of Eugenie. Anyway, let's continue.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. Division.
Our children. But the thing is that the problem that these white men have is that there's, especially in the US, let me just talk about the US. African American is preventing them from pursuing their barbaric behavior freely. That's the problem they're having. Let's move on. Next tweet. I didn't go too much on the comments. Alright, what is this now? Okay, wow. So it sounds like Jeffrey Epstein was allegedly blackmailing Bill Gates because he considered him cheap. This tells most likely what Epstein was doing to most of the people he knew. He will keep video of them so he could use it to get what he wants, no matter what it was. Yeah, I saw the tactic. That's exactly that. This is why he used all group of people, no matter what position you are. The only thing that he provide them by snatching kids for them to abuse kids, and then they took the bait, and then he record them doing the things with the kids and said, look, if you don't do this, we're gonna put this out. Why do you think Trump was able to do all those damages that he did here in the United States? Within a month, he was dumping the country into the ditch. Because many of these people, those Republicans and Democrats as well, they got something on them. That's what it was. I've been saying this without knowing the full detail of it, because of one report that Rachel Maddow did with Putin. And I saw, and I was like, this is the same tactic that is being used, because there is absolutely no way morality could just be thrown out the window in an instant. So they had to have something on them. And I was aware that of the little black book of Maxwell. So you could put one and one together and to say, okay, this is what's happening here. And the worst thing is, these men, when they are in position of power, instead of focusing on the task at hand, whatever the business is, when it comes to sex, they forget everything. They throw everything out the window. This is the problem men have. When they are in a position of power, they could be influenced easily by somebody's between legs. This is what got them into this issue, this problem. Let's listen to this.
There are some really weird details coming out about Bill Gates' rocky relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. One day, Epstein is offering to get Bill Gates a Nobel Peace Prize through his connections, and then the next day, he's blackmailing Gates about his affair. So it's clear from this file drop that these two were very close. Here's an email that Epstein sent to one of Gates' advisors. Your friend Bill is nuts. His former girl can't afford air conditioning, can't afford to travel to Bridge. She is okay, but broke. This story would take Trump off the front pages. The richest man in the world is so cheap. Like everyone else, Gates has been trying to distance himself from Epstein, but according to the Wall Street Journal, starting in 2011, Gates had private dinners with Epstein in his townhouse in New York. The two would hang out with billionaires together. Gates has been on Epstein's private plane. And there's an email where Epstein is inviting Gates to his private island for the holidays. And it's clear that Epstein was working overtime to try to win the favor of one of the world's richest men. It's been documented that in 2013, both Gates and Epstein traveled to France together and met with an official from the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. And this is interesting because Epstein told a former Gates Foundation employee that he knew the Norwegians and could help Gates win a Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to eradicate polio. But then the relationship began to sour. So, according to the Wall Street Journal, Bill Gates had an affair with a 20-year-old Russian bridge player, and Epstein knew about it. Apparently, he even paid for her software coding classes and then later used that to threaten Bill Gates. Reportedly, Epstein couldn't get Bill Gates to participate in one of his multi-billion-dollar ventures and got upset about it. And so around that time in 2017, Epstein emails Bill Gates asking him to reimburse him for his mistress's schooling. And people who have seen this email say that there's a very strong implication that Epstein is saying, I will expose your affair if you cut ties with me. We previously reported on Epstein's draft email about Gates sleeping with Russian prostitutes and trying to get STD antibiotics to slip to his then wife. So if you haven't checked that out, here it is. The news girls will continue to report on the powerful people that are implicated in the Epstein files, so follow to stay in the loop.
It's crazy. Trying to get the wife STD. Can you freaking imagine? I'm glad the moment she saw it, she got out of there. Once you know your significant other is spreading his body or her body around like that, is get the hell out of there. And you'll be lucky if you didn't get anything. Catch STD. These people are freaking ridiculous. Oh my God. All right, let's go to the next tweet. All right, there's a comment here. It was an international blackmail, sexual human trafficking, intelligent, World Wide Web of power and control. Pretty much that's that. That's what was happening. It's just now people are figuring it out. You guys could go to some of my videos. I don't know where I mention it. Sometimes different topics come out of whatever tweet that I was reading, and I'll tell you exactly. I will read between the lines what's happening. Yeah, I think blackmail was the main business. Child and God knows what else were invitations. We cannot step over this. Yeah. The MAGAs put a, well, I don't know if I would say, it's hard to say, good and bad, because there's other people who have been in power who probably knew about it but never made it public and didn't do anything about it. And this administration, that's so much to be said. Let's move on. Next tweet. There are photos of the pedophile Führer and the Epstein files, and Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Todd Blanchett are doing everything in their power to suppress them and make sure they never see the light of day. Alright, let's listen. 1 minute and 44 seconds. Oh, there's more. Is that the same thing? 1 minute and 44 seconds. Same thing.
The photos are gonna come out. They are coming. And yes, I'm talking about the photos of Trump from the Epstein files, the photos that prove everything we've all been suspecting, the photos that will bring him down. And the rumor is, it's just a rumor, but what I'm hearing is there's likely right now enough votes to impeach and convict and remove him. This is the rumor that's going around. The circles in DC are saying this. I just want to remind everyone, there were thousands of agents assigned to going through the files, and they've seen everything. And my understanding is that they had this on a server where they all could have access to it. And so who knows what happened to some of those materials from this server. I wouldn't be surprised if things start leaking here very soon. I don't even think it's gonna wait for the actual release from Pam Bondi. I think there could be a drop of something very serious here very soon that just slips through the cracks. And then what? Peach, remove. This is where things are heading, people. Let me know what you think about it. Comment, like, share, spread the word.
Until I see it, I'll believe it, because there's too many of these people also freaking chicken shit scared. But it's easy for them to send our children, our kids to the battlefield. Until I see it, I'll believe it, because there have been so many instances where Trump should not even be in that position, but he's still there. All right, let's leave that alone. Next tweet. I'm not gonna go in the comment section. DOJ spying. Okay, so there's that here. Holy shit. Trump's chief pedophile protector, Pam Bondi, and the DOJ have been caught spying on lawmakers viewing the unredacted Epstein files. Y'all know who ordered this, right? The pedophile and the Oval Office. To scare them. There's so many things that had happened. I don't know why people can't put these things together. Put one and one together. Like, was it his first term? There was a judge. Which state was that? Was it New Jersey? Who was looking into a case of somebody. Did he have any connection with or something like that? And they sent someone to go kill him. Or her. I think it was her. But the judge was not home. I think they killed her son, and that was the only child that that judge had, and nothing have been done. I'll look it up when I'm editing. Let me pause since I'm thinking about it now. Okay, so there it is here. I looked it up. The New Jersey, that's the question that I asked. The New Jersey judge whose home invasion caused the death of son, what happened? Okay. I was going based on memory. So it was in 2020. On July 19, 2020, a gunman disguised as a FedEx driver targeted the New Jersey home of U.S. District Judge Esther Salas, shooting and killing her 20-year-old son, Daniel Endell, and critically wounded her husband, Mark Endell. The assailant, disgruntled lawyer Warden Hollander, had researched the judge and sought revenge for a case she was handling. This is ridiculous. Let me see. You know what? Let's forget about it. I was looking into a lot of other things when I was looking into that. But yeah, never mind. Alright, did we listen to that? Okay, let's read it again. Holy shit. Trump's chief pedophile protector, Pam Bondi, and the DOJ have been caught spying on lawmakers viewing the unredacted Epstein files. Y'all know who ordered this? Right. The pedophile and the Oval Office. 1 minute and 2 seconds.
We have significant developments this evening that implicate the three branches of government, the separation of powers. Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice have been caught spying on lawmakers as they go view the quote-unquote unredacted Epstein files. Congressman Suhas Subramaniam from Virginia told me today that every lawmaker, when they go to look at these files at the Department of Justice's offices, are given a unique login. And well, that unique login has been used to track which files these members of Congress were searching. And today's hearing, Pam Bondi had a list for every member of Congress, including Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal and other members of Congress questioning her, of all the files that they review. That would be a significant breach by the executive branch, who's not allowed to look and spy on what the legislative branch is doing. Even Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, called it inappropriate this evening if true. Major news, spread the word, follow for more.
This guy, he wants to put his hand in every freaking thing. Okay, so I'm done with this. There's some comments you could pause and read. That's because he knows he could get away with it. He got things on people. Say, if you do this, then that. I mean, at this point, many of these people should be thinking and said, look, I might as well take it than whatever, the embarrassment, the punishment, whatever that comes with it, if you were part of the Epstein thing, depending on what you do. So your kids' future could be brighter because you are in a position where you could make decision to change the trajectory of the country. Next tweet. I have like 4 more left. I think majority of them are videos. The Department of Justice has been caught surveilling members of Congress pressing for the release of the Epstein files. Another person reporting on that. Let's listen.
The United States Department of Justice is spying on members of Congress who are pressing for the release of the Epstein files. This photo was taken the moment Attorney General Pam Bondi opened her binder at her hearing today about the Epstein files cover-up. And in it, you can clearly see Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal's exact search history from when she reviewed the Epstein files. Here's a closer look, but let's get even closer. Jayapal Pramila search history. It has the exact EFTA identification numbers that are listed on the bottom of the documents listed in the DOJ database, and it also has unredacted information summaries of those files. For example, thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. Or, I love the torture video from Sulayam to Epstein. Or, the Epstein victim list. You have Democrats in Congress trying to push for the files to be released to get justice for the survivors. And the response for the Department of Justice isn't to provide transparency, isn't to answer questions. It's to surveil those members of Congress to see what documents they would access so they could prepare ahead of time for the questions that they thought were coming to be able to control the fucking narrative. And that, my friends, is called counterintelligence. They're treating a congressional investigation into Epstein like they would treat a threat to national security. And there's only one fucking reason that they would treat a congressional investigation into a perverted pedophile who abused, molested, and raped children and then made millions prostituting those children to other billionaires as a national security threat. Because they're protecting Donald John Trump. And as long as they treat Epstein investigations like intelligence operations instead of demands for justice, every single person in those files will stay protected. And by the way, if they're surveilling members of Congress, what the fuck do you think they're doing to you?
All right, so that's that. And when you look at what's happening in the UK, same thing. All right, let's pause this. I mean, you could pause and read this. Let me go to the next one. This is Crockett. Okay, I'm over 30 minutes. Let's pause. Okay, and boom, this is how it's done. All right, almost 2 minutes. Any comments? Okay, I love her. She brings it. So Crockett is running for Senate. How many term is Senate? I think it is 6 years. And the current position that she has right now in the House of Representatives, I think is 2 years. Every 2 years she has to run. So she wants to run for the Senate, you know, the alternate time of okay, so in the Senate I think is 6 years. Okay, yeah, it's 6 years. U.S. senators serve 6-year terms with elections staggering so that about 1/3 of the Senate is elected every 2 years, providing stability, and there are no terms limit, meaning they can be re-elected indefinitely. This contrasts with House representatives who serve 2-year terms. All right, so right now the position that she has with the House of Representatives is 2 years terms. Okay, so every 2 years she has to run for the office. So right now she's running for the 6-year term. So every 6 years she could run for that. So that's the one she's running for. Alright, so let's listen. I just thought I'd share it with you, okay? I don't know.
This is how you smoke a heifer.
And to be clear, I'm not going to ask any questions of this witness because this witness has revealed that she has no intentions of answering questions. But instead, I'm going to ask some very basic questions really quickly of my colleague, Becca Ballant, if she will answer right or wrong, raping children. Wrong. Right or wrong, killing random citizens. Definitely wrong. Right or wrong, enriching yourself as the sitting president of the United States? Definitely wrong. Okay, thank you, because I probably never would have got that with our witness. Our witness who somehow is a lawyer but does not understand how it works with witnesses. I'm not really sure what law school she went to and what all kind of cases she tried, but typically when you come into a space and somebody's a witness, then they sit there and they answer questions instead of asking questions. And then we also have this objection that we use as lawyers called non-responsive when a witness fails to actually answer the question. But nevertheless, let me address the survivors, because that's exactly who they are. They are not victims, they are survivors. Let me say thank you for having more courage and moral clarity in your pinky fingers than the entire Department of Justice. We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ, as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world. But we don't know the basics of right and wrong in this country, because it's not about partisanship. And that's why I applaud Thomas Massey, because he's the only person on the Republican side that has a backbone and knows how to stand up to corruption. But nevertheless, let me keep going. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps. In fact, your boss, the President of the United States, stated that this administration, quote, took the freedom of speech away. And at your direction, DOJ has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Ford. And I might add that y'all actually had a judge that rejected y'all for trying to arrest Don Lemon before, just like the grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Kelly, just like a grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Slotkin, just like the case against Tish James was dismissed and the case against Mr. Comey was dismissed. I completely don't get how it is that you're sitting at the top of DOJ, because you don't seem to be good at your job.
Okay, this is what I said, because right now she's running for the 6-year term for the Senate against that other guy, the other Democrat. So they want one of them to go against a Republican. And I said, okay, even though I'm not from Texas, and I said, there she is. She is literally facing the freaking monster. She's in office. She's fighting the battle. You could go back to her history to see how she voted. The other guy, the moment that I saw him without knowing too much about him, I had a very suspicious about him. I'm like, man, although he has been in office, a lower position, state level, I didn't know much about that because I'm not from Texas, but I saw the look and I saw he has a position, and I'm like, he's saying too many things that people want to hear. Too many things. It's like every time he opens his mouth, everything that comes out of his mouth are things that people want to hear. So I had a very suspicious about him. And later on, I found out people from Texas who know more about what's going on, videos coming out saying he's taking money from certain group, he went to New York, taking money from certain groups, and he's lying to the people and things like that. So Texas, I don't know if you care about your kids or your women, your little girls. I don't know what to say anymore, because so many times I've seen some really good politicians coming from Texas, but you don't elect them. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. I want to finish with some of these because I don't want to keep on pushing them back. 2 more after this. Alright, so another TikTok video. Wow, so it sounds like Jeffrey Epstein was allegedly blackmailing Bill Gates. Did I put that twice? Because he considered him cheap. This tells most likely what Epstein was doing to most people he knew. He will keep video of them so he could use it to get what he wants, no matter what it was. Did I put that twice, 42, or am I putting it again? Alright, let's see here. Yeah.
There are some really weird details coming out about Bill Gates' rocky relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. One day, Epstein is offering to get Bill Gates a Nobel Peace Prize through his connections, and then the next day, he's blackmailing Gates about his affair. So it's clear from this file drop that these two were very close. Here's an email that Epstein sent to one of Gates' advisors. Your friend Bill is nuts. His former girl can't afford air conditioning, can't afford to travel to Bridge. She is okay, but broke. This story would take Trump off the front pages. The richest man in the world is so cheap. Like everyone else, Gates has been trying to distance himself from Epstein, but according to the Wall Street Journal, starting in 2011, Gates had private dinners with Epstein in his townhouse in New York. The two would hang out with billionaires together. Gates has been on Epstein's private plane. And there's an email where Epstein is inviting Gates to his private island for the holidays. And it's clear that Epstein was working overtime to try to win the favor of one of the world's richest men. It's been documented that in 2013, both Gates and Epstein traveled to France together and met with an official from the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. And this is interesting because Epstein told a former Gates Foundation employee that he knew the Norwegians and could help Gates win a Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to eradicate polio. But then the relationship began to sour. So, according to the Wall Street Journal, Bill Gates had an affair with a 20-year-old Russian bridge player, and Epstein knew about it. Apparently, he even paid for her software coding classes, and then later used that to threaten Bill Gates. Reportedly, Epstein couldn't get Bill Gates to participate in one of his multi-billion-dollar ventures and got upset about it. And so around that time in 2017, Epstein emails Bill Gates asking him to reimburse him for his mistress's schooling. And people who have seen this email say that there's a very strong implication that Epstein is saying, I will expose your affair if you cut ties with me. We previously reported on Epstein's draft email about Gates sleeping with Russian prostitutes and trying to get STD antibiotics to slip to his then wife. So if you haven't checked that out, here it is. The news girls will continue to report on the powerful people that are implicated in the Epstein files, so follow to stay in the loop.
Okay. So I did share it. Let me pause. I'm missing a link from my next tweet. Let me go search for it. Okay, so this is the next tweet. I had to go search for the link. I didn't have it. Breaking. In response to Trump saying he can understand Bad Bunny's halftime show because it was in Spanish, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez fired back. Quote, I barely know what Trump is saying half the time, so I feel him laughing my ass off. 20 seconds. I'm not going to go in the comment, okay?
I wanted to ask you about the Bad Bunny halftime performance. Trump is out there saying he couldn't understand, or nobody could understand a word he was saying, and that the dancing is, quote, disgusting. What's your response to what he's putting out there?
I barely know what Trump's saying half the time, so I feel him.
So that's that. This is my last one. This has to do with Andrew. Okay. The source for the story must be very close to home, knowing the detail of how much everyone contribute. There's the thinking face here. And how not a penny has been paid back. Queen, £7 million. Philip's estate, £3 million. Then Prince Charles, £1.5 million. Other royals, £500,000. This is quite interesting. I would like to know who the other royals are that bail Andy out. My goodness. Royal exclusive credit card. Queen Philip and Charles loan Andy £12 million for Virginia pay off. He hasn't paid back a penny. What is he doing to make money? If he didn't have it in the first place, how is he going to give that money back when he's not even working? Alright, so that's that. You guys could pause and read. I have a lot to edit tonight, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you don't support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we asked for forgiveness, and and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.